Hey everyone, welcome to Partner Up Profits. My name is Joey Valancourt, and today we're going to talk about the 7 rules of life and why some of these aren't actually the ones that I agree with anymore. Even though I bought this poster, I looked at it and there was a few that really got me irritated. I don't agree with it anymore. I don't even know if I should keep this on my wall. So I'm going to walk through exactly why that is and how we can transform some of these rules of life to actually better rules of life we can live by. All right, so as you know, if you're not new to this channel, we usually talk about influencer partnerships, digital marketing, remote jobs, traveling, and everything else in between. But we also talk about mindset and challenging our assumptions. So the idea for this video came from the fact that I was looking at this poster the other day and I was thinking of how inspirational this is. I love the lion, I love the design, it's on my wall. It kind of makes sense, but then I started to look at it a little bit deeper. And with some of the new things that I've been learning, I've discovered that there's some things I don't agree with on this poster. One, why is there only 7 rules? Why not 10 or 12? Of course, these are all marketing numbers. Everyone loves 7, 10, or 12. Makes us feel cool, calm, and collected. But I also want to point out that the key to a happy life and a never evolving life is to challenge our assumptions and question our reality to shape our future. One of my favorite comedians was George Carlin. And George Carlin was obviously funny, but he was a very witty person who looked deeper into the meanings of words and the way things were interpreted by people or misinterpreted by people.
I mean, there are a lot of words you can say whenever you want, you know, pneumonia. Nobody gives you a lot of... All right, you can't yell it in the hospital a great deal, but what the hell? There are words that you can say, no problem. Topography. No one has ever gone to jail for screaming topography. But there are some words that you can go to jail for.
So this inspired me to go a little bit deeper and apply some logic to some of these and put a little asterisk beside some of them and explain them a little bit more as how you should approach these 7 rules of life and if you have this poster, rather than just taking it for granted that each of these are the word of gospel. All right, so now this is my interpretation. If you have your own interpretation, please do comment in the link below in the descriptions. This is just kind of a fun exercise, so hopefully you take something from this, but hopefully it inspires you to look at other things in your life that you're taking for granted as you've never actually questioned them. So number 1 is let it go. Never ruin a good day by thinking about a bad yesterday. So I do agree, don't let a good day be ruined by a bad yesterday, but how do you let things go? If you just shove them down, you don't want to think about them, you ignore them, that's not really letting it go. That's just pushing them down. A lot of people make that mistake. They think that letting go is that process of pushing it away. I'm just not going to think about it. I'm letting it go. That's not the case. Letting it go is processing the emotion, understanding why you're experiencing this feeling, what's the awareness around it, what's the thought, what's the belief, and how can we transform that into a way that makes us accept the situation, whether in the moment or over time. That's true letting go. So I do agree that letting go is a powerful process, but it is a process and shoving it down is not the right way. Number 2 is ignore them. Don't listen to other people. Live a life that's empowering to you. So ignore them. We're starting to get into confrontational language now. So I do agree. If you have toxic people in your life, you should ignore them. You start cut out people. You know, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if they're sarcastic or gossiping all the time, or they just don't want the best for you, when you come to them with good ideas, they're always pushing you down, you should probably start to ignore them and even cut them out of your life a little bit. Don't listen to other people though. How are you supposed to evolve? How are you supposed to grow? If you have a coach, a teacher, a mentor that's trying to give you good advice and you just ignore them because it's not what you want to hear, because it's what you need to hear, then you're not going to learn, you're not going to grow. So I don't agree with don't listen to other people. I think just make sure to be selective with who you listen to and live a life that's empowering to you. Hell yeah, that makes sense. So number 2, ignore them, little asterisks there. Just make sure to pay attention to those who you listen to, who you're cutting out. Number 3, give it time. Time heals everything. So back to processing, right? Let's go back to let it go and give it time because they're very in synchrony with each other. Giving it anything time, of course, is a good thing. Time heals everything. Yes, it heals a lot of things. It makes it easier, but it doesn't necessarily heal everything. Have you processed the emotion? Have you processed the micro trauma or the trauma? Have you went through a forgiveness practice? Have you reframed a situation in your life that's happened? That's what's going to heal things with time. Without that, time's just passing and it's getting better, but it's not ever what it could be. There's a certain level of happiness that you can achieve if you actually process things rather than push them away and just ignore them and let time pass. So give it time, a little bit of an asterisk there. If you're not processing it, time will heal, but it's not going to heal fully. Don't compare. So the only person you should try to beat is the person you were yesterday. Again, combative. You need to beat somebody. You need to compete with somebody. Why do we need to compete with everyone, including ourselves? I don't want to compete with myself. I want to be friends with myself, right? I want to love myself. I want other people to love me through me loving myself, okay? It's also not important to think about what other people think, but by loving yourself, you attract love in your life. So don't compare. Yeah, I agree. Don't compare with other people. The only person you should try to beat, you don't need to beat anybody, is the person you were yesterday. I think a more important way is to say something along the lines of continue evolving. Evolving is a positive state. It's not necessarily like you have to beat the person you were yesterday because the person you were yesterday was shameful. You're guilty about that person. You made mistakes. That's all really, really negative stuff. How about we move into a positive state and just say that, hey, we're ever evolving. Everything that's happening to us is happening for a reason, and everything that's happened has perfectly positioned me to become the person I need to be to accomplish this next thing in my life. That's much better than don't compare and just make sure to beat yourself and the person you were yesterday. So little asterisks there. Number 5, stay calm. It's okay not to have everything figured out. Know that in time, you will get there. So staying calm is a beautiful rule to live by when it comes to relationships, because what happens in so many times with spouses or, talking with your parents or anybody that has a conflicting opinion with you, if they say something that triggers you, your first reaction is to react. You just say the first thing that comes to mind versus staying calm. And if it is something triggering you, taking a deep breath, letting it out. And if you still can't react in a calm way, in a productive way, another line that I like to use is, hey, I'm not equipped to answer this. I don't want to continue this conversation right now. I'm a little bit elevated. I want to give this the proper respect it's due. Let me come back to you in a couple minutes or an hour. I don't know how long, but I can't answer you right now. I'm in the wrong state of mind. I think a person appreciates that versus you just reacting. If someone says, hey, I'm not in the right state of mind to be having this conversation, I'll say, oh, okay, I totally get that. So staying calm is really important in relationships, in business, in sports, anything you're doing. The person that can stay calm, cool, and collected can remain with their wits within them. Now, it's okay not to have everything figured out. Know that in time, you'll get there. This is part of the enjoying the journey. So you don't have everything figured out. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, oh, I don't know what I want to do in 5 years, therefore I don't have a vision. Well, you do. You probably have an idea of where you want to go somewhat. There might be some gray zones there, but it's okay not to have that figured out. And the more peace you can make with that, the faster you can make that peace, the more you're just going to enjoy the day to day, which is really the most important thing in our lives, rather than ever achieving this outcome that may or may not bring us happiness. And know that in time you'll get there. Yeah, you might get there, you might not get the outcome, but again, it goes back to enjoy the process, enjoy the day. So stay calm, enjoy the day. Number 6, it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. So this one I agree with 100% completely. And it's on you is very similar to the Jocko Willink approach of the extreme ownership. So extreme ownership is saying something along the lines of, if you are rear-ended in traffic by another car, it wasn't your fault. It might be the other person's fault, but it is your responsibility on how you react to that, how you move on from it, how you process it, how you let it ruin your day or not. That's your choice and it's your extreme ownership. So it's basically owning up to everything in life as your responsibility now on how you deal with it and how you process it and what you do from that point on. Only you are in charge of your happiness, and that is also very true. We can't always rely on other people to make us happy. So instead, why don't we change the focus to, I can make myself happy by the way I react to things and the way I reframe it, or I can do a reflection, a redirection, or look at this as a gift, again, perfectly positioning me for the next thing in my life. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned. Maybe there's a practice of patience, love, and kindness you can apply to that person. But ultimately, it is up to you to be in charge of your own happiness. Now, number 7, smile. Okay, so life is short, enjoy it while you have it. Yep, that's pretty cliche. I don't disagree with it, but smiling whenever things are going well is different than trying to smile when things are not going your way. And this is where I think there's a powerful lesson within it. So at one point in time, when the power goes out in this house, the whole electricity grid for our internet, our water, and a bunch of other things that make this house run go down, which meant that I had to make breakfast for my kids by candlelight. I had to get them to daycare. We were running late. I couldn't get on my Zoom calls. There was going to be just an absolute catastrophic day ahead of me. And I was very disgruntled and in a primal state, and it just was kind of toxic. And I was starting to kind of bitch about the situations. And through going through the process though of knowing that what I'm continuing to focus on, I'm attracting, I decided to start to repeat an affirmation that was introduced to me by an author called Florence Scovel Shinn. And if you haven't actually read any of her material, it's really powerful affirmation and manifestation building that she talks about and the power of language. I smiled through the process even though I didn't want to smile. So it went something along the lines of, I don't want to smile right now, I'm gonna smile. I don't think anything good's happening, but I'm gonna begrudgingly go through my process of attracting the next positive thing. So I started to say, the electricity going out today is such a good thing. It's leading me to even better things. The electricity going out is perfectly positioning me for a great thing in my life, and good things are coming. The electricity going out is such a great thing. And as I continued to say it, electricity came back on. And as it did, at this moment, my wife and I looked at each other and I was like, wow, look at that. And of course, it's a bit of coincidence, right? You can choose to look at it as coincidence. I look at it also as a synchronicity. The universe delivered to me something that I was focusing on, and that was me smiling when I didn't want to smile. So in the moments when you don't want to smile and you're having a bad day, sometimes smiling is going to attract another person to smile at you, which is going to actually make you happier. It's going to set an intention as well. You're now priming your body that happiness is coming to you. And some of this sounds a little bit woo-woo, okay? But you can choose. Do you want to continue to be unhappy, or do you want to start moving into a more happy state? It's not always easy, and trust me, I get it. I am not the happiest guy at all times, but I've figured out ways to start to trigger ways to get back into a happy state faster than I have before. It used to take me 7 days sometimes to get over things. Now it takes me a day. And that time that I get back is time that I can spend with my family in a more productive, resourceful state, where they actually enjoy spending time with me and I enjoy spending time with them. So smile, life is short, enjoy it while you have it. I love that. These are the 7 rules of life. Obviously, this is just a little bit of fun, but I hope that it inspired you to look at things, no matter what you're looking at in life, a little bit differently. Challenge the assumption, the languages of what you're talking about in your daily basis. Try to move towards more positive language instead of, combating with people or things like that. You're cooperating with the universe, you're cooperating with yourself, with people, and you're looking for all of these in your life, yes, but you're also now challenging, well, how are they appearing to me and how am I dealing with them and how am I processing them? The key is the processing power and then letting time go through. So let it go, ignore them, give it time, yes, with, again, processing. Don't compare, just evolve. Stay calm, it's on you, smile. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you got some value out of it. If you did, like, subscribe, comment below what was your number one takeaway, or something else in your life that you've been challenging the assumption that you want to share with everyone else on this channel. Take care.